him read. Tonight's tale is from Grimm's Fairy Tales, and I shall be reading you the story of Little Brother and Little Sister. One morning, Little Brother took Little Sister's hand. No, that's all they're called. And said, "Our lives have been so hard since our mean stepmother and her ugly one-eyed daughter came to live with us. She makes us eat stale bread. She forces us to do all the chores. And our stepsister sits around and does nothing. We need to leave home and find our own way in the world." "You are right. What else can we do?" Little Sister said. "But if she ever catches us, it will be the end of us both." "It's a chance that we have to take," Little Brother said. The pair left home that day. They had only the clothes on their backs. By nightfall they reached the edge of a great forest. Little Brother looked up at the trees and said, "We can hide safely in here for tonight." He crawled inside the bottom of the hollow tree. Little Sister followed him inside the tree. Soon the pair were asleep. The bright sun woke them the next morning. As they stepped outside, Little Brother said, "I'm so thirsty. If only I could find a stream so I could have a drink." The children's stepmother was actually a witch. She had followed the children from the moment they left home. She was so angry that the children had escaped. The evil woman was hiding behind a tree where she overheard Little Brother speak. She vowed to teach them a lesson. So she cast a spell on all the streams of the forest. When Little Brother found the first stream, he bent down to take a drink. "Wait," Little Sister cried. "This stream is saying something to us. It says, 'Anyone who drinks from me will turn into a tiger.'" "Little Brother," she continued, "please do not drink from there. If you do, you'll turn into a ferocious tiger and tear me to pieces." "All right," Little Brother said. "I'll wait until we find the next stream." When they came to the next stream, Little Sister heard it say, "Anyone who drinks from me will turn into a wolf." "Little Brother," she cried, "do not drink. If you do, you will turn into a wolf, and then you will eat me up." "Fine," he said, "I will not drink this water either. But I don't care what the stream says next time. I'm going to take a nice, long drink." The next stream they found said to Little Sister, "Anyone who drinks from me will become a fawn or a young deer." "Wait," Little Sister cried, but it was too late. Her brother had already bent over the water. He was taking a nice long drink. "Oh no," said Little Sister as she watched Little Brother change into a fawn. They both started to cry. Little Sister said, "Don't worry, Little Brother, I'll take care of you." She took off her golden necklace and placed it around his neck. Then she braided some long grass to make a leash. Then she led the dog deeper into the forest. They came to an empty cabin in the woods. "This looks like a good place to stay," Little Sister said. "You wait inside. I'll look around for anything to make this place more comfortable." Little Sister gathered up some leaves and moss to make a soft bed for the fawn. The next morning, and every morning after that, she gathered food for the two of them. During the day, Little Sister and the fawn played together. The fawn would run and run, and Little Sister would chase him. At night, she rested her head on his soft back and fell asleep. Little Sister spent many years in the forest taking care of her brother, the fawn. She grew into a kind, gentle young woman. One day, the king of the land decided to hold a great hunt. The forest came alive with sounds of horns, dogs, and the cries of hunters. The fawn longed to be part of the action. He wanted excitement. He asked his little sister to let him go. Little Sister said, "No, I cannot let you go. What would I do if anything happened to you?" The fawn promised his sister nothing would happen. He knew he was quick to outrun the hunters. The fawn begged and begged. Finally, Little Sister opened the door to let him inside. "You must come home before nightfall." when are you at the door, say to me, little sister, please let me in. That's how I know it's you. The fawn ran off as fast as he could. The king and his hunters caught sight of him. They chased the fawn, but he was too quick. When it started to get dark, he pranced home. At the front door, he said, little sister, let me come in. She opened the door, and he leaped inside. Little sister was so happy to see the fawn return. Soon the pair was sleeping soundly. The hunt started all over again the next day. Again, the fawn begged his sister to let him go. Okay, I know he wants excitement, but this sounds like a death wish. Again, she didn't want him to leave. She told him to come home before dark. Make sure you say exactly what I told you to say, or else I will not let you in. The king and his hunters searched for the fawn again. They chased him through the dense woods, and he even managed to hurt his foot. But the fawn was too fast to be caught. The king ordered one of his hunters to quietly follow the fawn. Find out. He keeps hiding from us, he said. The hunter kept silently behind the fawn and watched him as he limped home. He finally came upon the cabin where little sister lived with the fawn. The hunter overheard him say, little sister, please let me in. Little sister opened the door and gasped when she saw the fawn was hurt. She washed his cut and soothed it with herbs. By morning it was all better. Meanwhile, the hunter went back to find the king's group. He told the king all about the strange fawn, what he said, and where to find the cabin. The king thought, tomorrow during the hunt, I'll trick this little girl into letting me in. Then I'll surprise the fawn when he comes home, and that's how I'll catch him. Next day, the hunt began again. If I don't go, the fawn said, I'll die of sadness. The sound of the horns makes me want to move. I need to run. I just have to be myself. Little sister sadly opened the door, and the fawn dashed out to the hut. When she closed the door behind him, a tear slid down her cheek. The king saw the fawn running through the forest. He said to his men, hunt him all day and into the night, but don't hurt him. I have a very good plan to catch him. He left his men and went to the fawn's cabin. The king knocked on the door. He said, little sister, please let me in. When little sister opened the door, she was shocked. You're not the fawn, she cried. The king was surprised to see such a beautiful young lady. He fell in love with her on the spot. The king bent his head and asked, may I come in, beautiful lady? Little sister was also shocked to see a handsome man with a gold crown on his head. She said, of course, please come in. As the king stepped inside, he was overcome with love for this kind, gentle, and beautiful little sister. In the doorway, the king bent down on one knee and asked her, would you come to the palace and be my wife? Little sister replied, only if my fawn can come too. The king smiled kindly. Of course he may come. He will have anything he needs. Little sister could not contain her joy. She and the king spent the day talking and laughing. Little sister told the king about their awful stepmother. She explained why they left home and how her little brother had turned into a fawn. As night fell, the fawn leapt into the house. Little sister found her old grass leash and tied it to the gold necklace the fawn still wore around his neck. She told him that the king wanted to marry her and would take care of them forever. The three of them arrived back at the king's castle. A great wedding feast was waiting for them. The royal couple were married that night. They were happy, and so was the fawn. He had a whole garden and castles to play in. The news of the king's happy marriage spread across the land. Soon the king gave birth to a little boy. Everyone in the kingdom celebrated the new prince. Word of the marriage and baby traveled to the evil stepmother. She was furious that little sister and the fawn were happy and well. She was also jealous of little sister was now queen. How did they escape my spell? How dare she end up happy? I must get my revenge. The stepmother turned to her ugly, one-eyed daughter and said, you and I will go to the king's castle. He'll cast a spell on the queen to put her in a deep trance. Then we will lock her away. You will take her place as queen and mother. I will charm the king so he doesn't notice the change. The king will no longer have her for his wife, and I will have my revenge. Their happy lives will be ruined forever, and you will become queen. Next afternoon, while the king was out, the witch crept into the castle disguised as a maid. The fawn, who usually grazed on the castle grounds, had gone off with the king. If he had seen his awful stepmother, he would have been able to warn his sister. The queen was asleep in her room when her wicked stepmother arrived disguised as a maid. The witch cackled as she picked up the queen and carried her away. Tired and groggy from giving birth, the queen could not fight back. Her stepmother took her in a room in the castle that no one even knew about. Then the witch put her in a trance. You will sleep here until the end of your days. You will never see your son grow up, and you will never see your husband again, the witch cackled. She crept silently out of the room, forgetting to lock the door. She raced back to the castle hallway. Then she snuck her daughter into the queen's room. She hid the ugly girl's bad eye from the view and waited for the king to return. The great king arrived in his wife's bedroom, eager to see his queen. He was surprised to see a maid he didn't know. I would question that. Like, just, what are you doing here? Then the disguised witch said, Sire, your wife needs to rest. It's best not to disturb her. Oh, she needs some fresh air and some sunshine, the king said, and he got up to open the window. The witch quickly spoke the charm and put him under the spell. It worked. The king didn't know it was the ugly girl lying in his queen's bed. Later, the witch said, once she's woken from her nap. The king sighed, but he did just what he wanted. He left the bedroom. Later that night, at midnight, the real queen crept down to the nursery. She was still in her trance. She opened the door quietly, walked over to the baby's bassinet. The baby's nurse was there, and she looked at the window at her fawn. Your Majesty, the nurse said, is everything all right? But the nurse knows that something's not quite right with the queen. She walked strangely. There was an empty look in her eyes. The nurse saw this, but she was too afraid to tell the king. Why not? Go tell him. Over the next few nights, the queen came to the nursery at midnight. She walked around her baby, then looked out the window at the fawn. The nurse had gotten used to the queen's strange walk and odd look, but then the queen spoke. Where's my child? Where's my fawn? 2 more times and I am gone. The nurse was frightened. What do those words mean? The nurse tried to speak to the queen, but she didn't answer. The next night, the queen came to the nursery again. This time she said, Where's my child? Where's my fawn? 1 more time and I'm gone. This time the nurse knew she had to alert the king. In the morning, the nurse told the king what had been going on in the nursery. I believe something is very wrong with the queen, she said to him. Oh my, said the king, this is strange indeed. What could be happening with my dear wife? I will spend the night in the nursery and see if I can figure out the problem. That night, the king watched as the queen did exactly as the nurse said. Only this time, the queen said, Where's my child? Where's my fawn? After this, I'm really gone. No, shouted the king. You are my queen. You must not leave. He gently touched her cheek. That broke the witch's spell. Really? That's all it took? Alright. The queen opened her clear blue eyes. She felt as if she had been sleeping for a long time. Oh, my dear husband, you have broken my stepmother's awful curse. She put me into a trance. I was awake on the inside and was asleep on the outside. I knew what she was doing, but I couldn't stop her. She's pretending to be a maid. Why did I saw that maid in our bedroom? There must be someone pretending to be you, sleeping in her bed. The queen said, It must be my awful stepsister. mother and her ugly daughter. The soldiers caught the wind. They brought the evil pair to the king and queen. You are to never step foot in this kingdom again, the king announced. If you ever show your faces here, you will be thrown in jail forever. The king continued, but first you will turn little brother back into a human. With one wave of her hand, the witch changed little brother back into a human. Then the king's soldiers marched the evil pair to the edge of the kingdom. They left them to wander in the great vast forest. Nobody ever heard from them ever again. Little brother was so happy he was back in his normal human form. He hugged little sister with tears of happiness in her eyes. Little brother had grown to a handsome, strong young man. How long was he a fawn? Like, go from boy to man? The king placed him in charge of his large army. Even though he wasn't a fawn any longer, they still had to run. Little sister Queen again lived a long, happy life with her king and her son. Okay, that's the end. Thanks for listening.